If I could run in only one place for the rest of my life, where would that place be? If I could race only one race for the rest of my life, what would that race be? I was asked these questions a couple of months ago, and the answer is crystal clear for me. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly where and why these places and the race is so incredibly special to me. And stick around to the end, because I'm going to make a special announcement. I'm going to give you the opportunity to come and train with me in this place and race alongside me in the most breathtaking environment I can possibly imagine, running and racing. So let's rewind to 2010. And I stumbled across this race, and it was almost as if the race chose me and not the other way around. And I get how that sounds, but hear me out. I'd done a couple of 5Ks and a 10K, and all of a sudden heard or was invited to a race that was going to be in the south of Spain, 50 kilometers running uphill to the fourth highest mountain and the peak of the fourth highest mountain in Spain. And to think about the heat, the climate, the humidity, the medium altitude, the high altitude at the top, and then you get to snow and wind, it just seemed inconceivable. And at that time, I knew so little about ultra running or marathon running that I just thought you could run up to a marathon and that was it. And this was my introduction to ultra marathon running. And through sheer fear, I was living in Sweden. And so I just got to work and spent 8 weeks training for this event with the sole goal to finish in less than the cutoff time of 8 hours. So after doing as much training as I possibly could for those 8 weeks, I landed in this place. And it wasn't just about the race or the sport. It was so much more than that. It was magical landing in this city. And it was the history, it was the culture, it was the food, it was the people, it was the live to live, it was the music. It's absolutely everything about it. And every direction that I would go in and find a place to run just felt like running in a postcard. And it was that powerful that by the time I had finished the race and I managed to get in less than the cutoff time, I'd already made the decision that in order for me to be the best possible runner that I could be, and I'd already got to that stage where I wanted to be a professional runner, I wanted to go all in, which is exactly the reason for this name of the channel, I knew that I needed to move there. And so I put a plan in place and 2 years later moved to this city. That's how special it was to me. And then I spent 10 years living there. So in terms of exploring and the amount of adventure that I had around this city, province, the entire country, it's deep in that area. And after I finished the race, I remember being at the top of the mountain, and I'd already made the decision that in order for me to go all in order for me to be the best possible runner that I could be, I needed to move to this place, train on the course, and if I could get good at this course and this race, which is by far the hardest race that I've ever done, and any race is as hard as you make it, but if you're on the limit to this race, it cannot be any harder than this. It's just one of those places where whether it's sunrise or sunset, you have to stop and it takes your breath away. And I've had so many moments like that whilst I've been living there that you just have to pinch yourself because it is so incredibly beautiful to be running on those trails, to be running on the road routes and have the Mediterranean to your right as you're running up the mountain, snow on the top, and then beyond the Mediterranean, you can actually see Africa on a clear day. It's mesmerizing. Once I'd been there for about 7 years and social media was a big thing and I was posting my images to Facebook and Instagram, people then wanted to come and train with me, and then I started to create training camps. And they became really popular because people were as blown away with the place that I was. And so when I was asked the question a couple of months ago, where would I run if I could only run in one place for the rest of my life? And what race would I choose to run if I could only run one race for the rest of my life? It's instantaneous, the answer. It's Granada, and it's Granada training camps. And so the question then became, how do we get these back off the ground again, but also elevate them to the next level and make them incredible places to be for runners? So what is the perfect running camp? What is the perfect environment for a runner? We're going to follow the typical training week. So you're going to do Wednesday interval session, Sunday long run, recovery runs, easy runs, but that's going to be packed full of workshops to do with strength and conditioning, to do with nutrition, to do with diet. There'll be private chefs looking after you. It will be fully supported. So in terms of what level do I need to be at in order to join, if you can run 10 to 15 kilometers right now, then you're good and you're supported. And it's not about, as you get from this channel, for me, it's not about being elite or it's not about being quick. For me, it's about being passionate about running, and it's about your attitude to running and the attitude that you then take to life. That's what's important, and that's what we're looking for on the training camp. So here's the exciting part. I'm giving you the chance to experience this place too. I'm launching a brand new opportunity to come and train with me in my favorite running paradise. I'll show you the trails, the routes, and guide you through the magic of this place and help you take your running to the next level. And if you're up for the challenge, you could join me at my favorite race, the one where it all started for me. And together, we'll face the toughest course in the world. Every step, every climb, every mile here, it feels like an adventure. It's not just where I train, but it's where I find my peace, my drive, and my inspiration. And the race is the ultimate test of endurance, of grit and heart. A race that challenges you to dig deeper than you ever thought possible. So, are you ready to join me? Hit the link in the description, reserve your place, and let's make it happen.